We are going to start with pair of linear equations in two variables. All of you know that linear equation can be there in one variable. However, we will be doing linear equations in two variables. Now, when I talk about linear equation, it is nothing but an art to bring a mathematical problem to equations and to exhibit those equations in the most simple terms that can be. The word here is misspelled, kindly ignore. So the general form of linear equation is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Over here, there are 5 alphabets A, B, C, and X and Y. A, B, C are the coefficients, X and Y are the variables. A square plus B square is not equal to 0 basically means here that the coefficient of A and B together cannot become 0, because if A square plus B square is 0, then A square is equal to minus B square, and a square quantity can never be negative. So that is the idea of putting this condition over here. So when we talk about pair of linear equations in two variables, since these are two equations, the standard form for the pair of equations is written like this. Since we are talking about two equations at the same time, I cannot use the coefficient as A, B, and C. Instead of that, we are going to put a subscript here. And for the first equation, the coefficients are A1, B1, and C1. And for the second equation, A2, B2, and C2. Important point to note here is that both the equation that we are taking as a pair are in the same variable x and y, x and y. This kind of a pair is also known as system of equations or simultaneous equation. Now, why simultaneous? Taking an example here, when I talk about this equation 2x minus 3y plus 4 equal to 0, and the second equation x plus 7y minus 1 equal to 0, these are two different equations, distinct equations. However, we are going to look at them together, solve them with respect to each other. If we have to analyze them, we analyze them together. So anything that we do with these two equations is supposed to be done together. Since there is a word together here, hence the word simultaneous. Now, this is a rule of nature. If people have to exist together, then there has to be a relationship between them. Since these are two equations, they too have relationship between them. And there are three kinds of relationships that we are going to discuss. Now, before I discuss the relationship, I want you recalling one important fact. Linear equation can be looked at from two different perspectives. One, the algebraic perspective, and the other one, the graphical perspective, what we call as geometrical perspective. That means when I write linear equation, it looks something like this: 2x minus 3y plus 4 equal to 0, right? However, if I plot the same equation on a graph, it will be a line. That is where the word linear is coming from. There could be quadratic equations. Quadratic equations do not look like a line on a graph, but a linear equation looks like a line on a graph. Now let me start with the relationships. The first relationships, now important point to remember here, the coefficients play a very, very important role as far as the relationship is concerned. It is the coefficients that decide that what kind of relationships the pair would have. Since we've seen in the previous format that we are labeling the coefficients of the first equations as a1, b1, c1 and the second equation as a2, b2, c2. So the first relationship is when we take the coefficients equal to the, and we take the next ratio as the coefficients of y. Let's understand clearly using an example. So there are three possibilities of ratios when we talk about linear equations in two variables, right? However, for this kind of a relationship, look at these coefficients. 2 and 5 are the respective coefficients of x, right? So these are the values of a1 and a2. 3 and 6 are the respective coefficients of y. So these are the values of b1 and b2. 4 and 9 are the constants. So these are the values of c1 and c2 respectively from the two equations that are given to us in this example. For checking this kind of a relationship, that is intersecting lines, we only concentrate on the first two ratios. So we do not even actually consider this particular ratio. So when we look at the first two ratios, we observe that 2 upon 5 is not equal to 3 by 6. So a1 upon a2 is not equal to b1 upon b2. Hence, these two lines intersect each other, right? Let's look at the second relationship now. Now, the second relationship is about coincident lines. What are coincident lines? These are the lines that totally overlap each other at all points. Again, the first step is same. We extract the coefficients from the given two equations, put them in the ratio format, and we compare the ratios. In this particular example that we've taken here, we've extracted the coefficients 1 upon 3, 2 upon 6, 5 upon 15, and then we compare them. When I look at 2 upon 6, it can be reduced to 1 by 3. When we look at 5 upon 15, this can also be reduced to 1 by 3. Implies all three ratios are equal to 1 by 3. Since all three ratios are equal to each other, hence the given pair of lines, that is this pair, is a pair of coincident lines. Let's look at the third relation. For the third relation, again, first step is same. Extract the coefficients, put them in ratio format. Second step, compare the ratio. The third example that we are taking is this: 2 upon 4, first ratio, minus 3 upon minus 6, second ratio, 4 upon 10, third ratio. 2 upon 4 can be reduced to half, minus 3 upon minus 6 is also reduced to half, but 4 upon 10 is reduced to 2 upon 5. So we observe here that the first two ratios are equal to each other, but they're not equal to the third one. Hence, when the first two ratios are equal but not equal to the third, the given relationship is that for parallel lines. Now, important thing to observe here. When the first two ratios are not equal, the lines are clearly intersecting. But if the first two ratios are equal, then we need to observe the third ratio. If the third one is also equal, then the lines will be coincident. However, if the third one is not equal, then we will say that it is a case of parallel lines. So we've understood what do you mean by relationships. Another important thing to remember when people coexist about the relationships, we've understood that there will be relationship between them. But whether that relationship is consistent or not, that is something we need to check. So what is consistency? It is definitely not perfection, but it is simply refusing to give up. How do we look at this concept of consistency in the pair of linear equations? So a pair of linear equations, if it has a unique solution, when will it have a unique solution? When they will intersect at a point. They will individually have their own path, but they come together at one particular point. That means they have not given up on each other. Hence, they are consistent pair of linear equation. When the lines are overlapping each other, that means they are meeting each other at infinite solutions. Now, what is a solution here? Where the lines meet, they meet at a point. Those points are known as the solution or the solutions of the pair of linear equations. So when they intersect, they meet only once, hence a unique solution, right? Consistent, but they are independent of each other. They have their own path. In the third case, they keep on meeting each other. When they keep on meeting each other, they will have infinite points in common, hence infinite solution. They have again not given up on each other, hence consistent pair of equations, but they are totally dependent on each other. The second point, the linear equations have no solution. That means they will never meet. The kind of lines that never meet are known as parallel lines. Such a pair is an inconsistent pair of linear equation because they have given up on each other. They do not have any meeting point. It will become more clear with this kind of a table. It is important for you to remember this table, and it will be an easy recall for you. Probably you could make a note of this in your notebooks. This is the graphical way of writing a pair of linear equations. You can clearly see it is a unique solution, one solution. They only intersect at a point. They are consistent because they have a meeting point, but they are independent because they have their own path. Look at the third one. It appears like one line, but actually there are two lines. They're overlapping. They are meeting at all points, hence infinite solutions. Again, they are consistent because they have not given up on each other, but they're totally dependent on each other. So the difference between this and this is that these are independent, these are dependent. The common feature between the first and the last is that both are consistent. The second block over here, the lines are parallel, they will never meet, hence no solution. And this kind of a system where there is no solution implies they have given up on each other is known as inconsistent. So if I look at this from a flowchart perspective, there are two types of linear equations system of linear equations. They could be consistent, they could be inconsistent. When they're inconsistent, no second opinion about it. They have to be parallel lines. This is the condition that the coefficients have to follow, and there will be no solution. So these are the key points to remember. And when we talk about consistent pair of linear equations, it is subdivided into two parts again. It could be intersecting lines with a unique solution. This is the condition that the coefficients have to satisfy to come to this kind of a pair. Or the consistent lines could be coincident lines with this kind of the rule that the coefficients will follow. And in this case, because they are totally dependent on each other, these are infinite solutions. Now let's take an example. How many solutions does the following system of linear equations have? That means I am not looking for what is a solution, but I'm just looking for how many solutions does it have. Now the answer could be 1, answer could be none, N-O-N-E, or the answer could be infinite. And all will depend upon the coefficients. So step 1, extract the coefficients. Minus 6 upon 3, giving you minus 2. 4 upon minus 2, giving you minus 2. Important thing to notice here, this equation is not written in standard format. So 2 has to come that side, becomes minus 2. Minus 1 has to come that side, becomes plus 1. The ratio gives you minus 2. All the ratios are ultimately giving you minus 2 as a result. Now, when all the ratios are equal, this pair must have infinite solutions. So this is how we interpret the relationships. Another important question that I would like to discuss with you. Now over here, apart from X and Y, I see another alphabet K. Important thing to note here, K is not a variable. It is a constant, but it is an arbitrary constant which can take any value depending upon the kind of relationship that has been interpreted for, or is being the question is being interpreted for that kind of a relationship. So in this particular question, it is looking for infinite many solutions. So step one would be, again, we extract the coefficients a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2, c1 upon c2. So the coefficients here is k and 12, so k by 12, 3 and k, so 3 by k, minus of k minus 3, and minus of k over here. All right. And because we are looking for infinitely many solutions, the the ratios are supposed to be equal to each other. So we, of course, get rid of this minus sign here, write it as k minus 3 and k because it was a common sign. Now these are three ratios. That means it can give me either this equal to this, or this equal to this, or maybe this equal to this. So there are three ways of interpreting it. So let me take the first case. That means this equal to this. When I write this, I take k there, k square, 12 into 3, 36. When I take a square root on both the sides, I get k as plus minus 6, which can also be written as k equal to 6 and k equal to minus 6. Now, my answer doesn't finish here because I have only looked at the first two ratios. So I'll have to look at the second and third comparison as well. So I take case 2. Over here, I take k up there, it becomes 3k. K up there becomes k square minus 3k. Taking 3k that side becomes k square minus 6k equal to 0. Taking k common out, I get two factors. Now, these are two factors, hence a quadratic equation should give me two roots. When it gives me two roots, then the first factor is a monomial, so gives me the root as 0. The second factor is a binomial, gives me the root as 6. Since the relationship was about an answer to k which should satisfy anything given in this particular comparison, implies the answer should be common for case 1 and case 2. So we look for a common value there. The common value is k equal to 6. So k is equal to 6 over here and over here. But k equal to 0 doesn't exist here. K equal to minus 6 doesn't exist in this particular case. So we ignore k equal to minus 6 from this case. We ignore k equal to 0 from this case, and we write down the consolidated answer as k equal to 6. So this was all about relationships between the pair of linear equations. Three types of relationships. Each relationship is dependent upon the coefficients of the pair of linear equations. What are the coefficients? Coefficients are the numbers or some alphabets multiplied with the variable. We always take a1, a2 as the coefficients of x, b1, b2 as the coefficients of y, and c1, c2 as constant. Important point to remember is that if the equation is not written in standard format, you ensure to write it in standard format. That means bring everything to one side, equate it to 0. So 5x plus 3y equal to 7 should be written as 5x plus 3y minus 7 equal to 0. Before you proceed to extract the coefficients and then compare them. So two keywords to remember from today: simplify the equation. That means put it in standard format. Next, extract the coefficients. Third, compare the coefficients. And